Harley-Davidson is an American brand that's been in existence since 1903, and ever since it's been selling people a culture, a dream, a way of motorcycling. My earliest memory of Harley-Davidson comes from Terminator 2 when the famed T800 ceremoniously announces, "I need your boots, your clothes and your motorcycle." He then proceeds to take said motorcycle out on the highway and look bloody cool while doing it. Now, this is just one example of what the American motorcycle dream really is. And although this isn't the Fat Boy, it is a part of Harley-Davidson's cruiser range in India, which includes the Fat Bob, the Heritage Classic and the Fat Boy itself. Although this one has the coolest name of them all, Breakout. Now, since this isn't a conventional motorcycle in any which way, let me take you through all the things I find cool about it and of course a few important numbers.
Let's begin with those massive 26-spoke cast aluminum wheels on both ends with those black finishes and machined details, which honestly look quite bling and then some. Now these are shod in Michelin Scorcher tires which have been specially made for this motorcycle. Both discs look small for the job at hand, but the LED headlight has a nice presence to it. Then there's that flat chrome handlebar with the tiny but somehow apt 2.14-inch LCD and a small panel for the warning lights just below it. Now this does have enough information on display without it being a distraction, which is a nice touch. Then there's the 49mm dual bending telescopic aluminum fork triple clamps and the 43mm coilover monoshock with toolless hydraulic payload adjustment. My personal favorite though is the heavy breather high performance air intake as well as the 2x2 exhaust, which sounds biblical. The chrome plate on the 18.9 litre fuel tank also fits the bill perfectly along with the other chrome treatments. However, the most significant part of this machine is the massive 1923cc V-twin motor with a 45-degree firing angle. Now this motor churns out 103 bhp and 168 Nm of peak torque. It's mated to a 6-speed gearbox and we'll get to its performance in just a little bit. Apart from this, the well-padded and nicely curved seat along with that short tail section also look fantastic and raw.
Also, in case you're wondering what that 117 stands for, well, that's the cubic inch capacity of this 1923cc motor. That's as American as it gets. And for all those film buffs out there, remember Royale with cheese from Pulp Fiction? Well, that kind of sums it up. Now enough mucking about, time to hit the road with this bad boy.
First things first, getting on this motorcycle is uber cool. It just looks like $1,000,000 and that translates to the seating position as well. The flat handlebar that I mentioned earlier feels like a bit of a reach and the foot pegs are positioned similarly to those of a cruiser. Nevertheless, this feels like an apt posture only because of the oodles of torque on offer. The start feels particularly agricultural, almost like farm equipment, if you don't mind me saying so, and there's a whine to the starter motor that is distinct. The exhaust note is a loud one and the sheer noise from the engine itself feels like this motorcycle operates in a space of its own, devoid of any care or worry about road manners or otherwise. The clutch operation feels heavy, but slotting the Breakout into first gear feels like a proper mechanical action, and it also feels like a more refined version of gear changes over the year for Harley-Davidson. What I meant to say is, it must have felt like this when it earlier started, and I love the way that they've kept that feeling alive. That's one aspect of this motorcycle that I truly appreciate. The modernization of an old school product but still sticking to its core value and form. Thanks to the torque I mentioned earlier, the Breakout is fairly easy to get moving and maintain momentum to tackle light traffic conditions. However, once traffic gets heavier, this Harley does begin to heat up quite a lot. That's not unexpected, but the level of heat is quite severe given the cubic inches on that massive motor. One annoyance that I felt throughout the ride experience was the loose fuel filler cap, which rattled around under a certain RPM reading but sort of faded away into the background once I was at a higher speed. This motorcycle wants to be on the move on highway speeds at all times to feel at its most optimum. Its engine sings its most soulful number when on the highway, revving it out and just riding smooth tarmac. That's not to say the ride quality is jarring. It wasn't too bad for a motorcycle of this size and heft, in the city at least. Sure, large undulations are best avoided and tall speed breakers will require skillful maneuvering, since this will scrape its underbelly quite easily. However, it will open its lungs and breathe easily on those open roads with enough space to max its torque-heavy engine. It feels sure-footed and stable in such conditions, and this feels like its most natural habitat. There's enough grunt right from the get-go. It never runs dry all through the rev range, but one has to learn to deal with the massive wind blast, which is immense at race speeds. All in all, this is a motorcycle that will mostly find its home in the city for those weekend runs to and fro to the closest pit stop just outside of it. But it'll keep you smiling, which is most important.
Now let's get the most important number out of the way first. This bike costs Rs 31 lakh ex showroom. Its rivals, the Ducati Diavel and the Triumph Rocket, do sport a more affordable price tag. But that's missing the case with a motorcycle of this sort. Sure, it has its compromises, but with a machine like this, what's most important is whether it makes you feel special or not. And in that regard, the Breakout has character in spades. Thanks to that unique design language and that torque-heavy powertrain, this motorcycle will keep you chugging along with a massive grin on your face. But what do you make of the Breakout? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to drop a like, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care and ride safe.